everybody, Jamie Samford, corporate chef for Winn Meat Company here, and I am so excited to bring you a great recipe for steak au poivre. We've got a beautiful piece of beef, we've got perfect, beautiful Tellicherry black pepper, that's the best pepper you can get, we got heavy cream, we got cognac. We're going to make a dish that you're going to be proud to serve. Okay, great recipe start with great ingredients. We got a fabulous piece of meat here. We're going to start with a little bit of olive oil, and we're going to rub the steak with some olive oil so that our pepper and salt will stick to it, okay? We want to season it with a little salt on both sides. And you know it's important that when you're cooking steaks that you start out at room temperature. You don't want an ice cold steak that you're starting with. So once we get our salt on it, we're going to want to take about a tablespoon of pepper per steak and put that right on there really good. It's a pepper dish, so don't be scared to go peppery with it. About a tablespoon per steak. We're going to cook this steak a classic French style. We're going to baste it with a little butter and garlic and shallot. So we're going to take a nice shallot and rough chop it, okay? That's all you got to do right there. And we want to take our garlic cloves, 4 of them, we got 1 per steak, and give it a little smash, okay? This is going to release more of the oil and allow it to flavor the steaks a little bit as we go through the recipe. What we've got to do now is go over to our pan, get it hot, get our oil and our butter started so we can sear this steak and start to cook it. We're using a little olive oil and some butter. We've got about 4 tablespoons of olive oil, whatever was left from what you used to rub the steaks. And look at that. Now remember, olive oil doesn't have a real high flash point, so you don't want to have a crazy heat. See, we have about medium heat on there. But it's starting to bubble, it's starting to get brown. That's what we want. To take the steak, put it in so that it falls away from you so you don't splash oil on yourself, okay? Pepper side down into this hot oil. Now then, we want to take our shallots, okay, and our garlic and our thyme sprigs, and put them right in there. Woo! Look at that thyme pop. And what we're going to do is we're going to cook this for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side for medium rare. And while this steak is cooking, we want to baste it. This is the classic French technique for cooking steaks. We're going to baste it with this butter and olive oil mixture. You may have to tilt the pan up a little bit to get enough to baste it. And you'll have more steaks in the pan than just the one that I'm doing. The recipe serves 4, okay? Look at that. That is beautiful. Getting a nice sear. Beautiful sear on the meat. It's not cooking too fast. We're not burning our butter. We're not burning our garlic. Look at that. Oh, nice and caramelized. Some of the sugars and the protein have caramelized a little bit, so we got that nice sear on there, that nice crust. These beautiful shallots and garlic and thyme are flavoring the butter that we're using to baste it with. Just, the French know how to cook. What can I say? So again, we're going to want to go about 3-4 minutes on this side in order to get to our medium rare. And a critical thing with steaks is letting them rest after you've cooked them. You take it right out of the pan, you cut it, you're going to lose all your juice because the proteins are tight. When you let the meat rest, they relax and redistribute the liquid and the juices back throughout the entire piece of meat, and you don't get that big pile of the beautiful juices on your plate. When you cut it, you get them in your mouth where they belong. Okay, now we've got our pan ready. We want to make our sauce. So we need to get this steak out of here. Let's put it on a plate so we can reserve it and let it rest. Okay, and now we've got to move our pan off the heat because we're going to make our sauce next. Remember, when you're working with brandy and fire, it's basically a bomb. So you want to keep your face away from it. You want to keep it at arm's length. So we're going to add the brandy off of the flame, and then we're going to put it back on the flame and get a nice flambe. Notice how I was back. I didn't have my face in front of it. And it's important that we get this flambe because we want to burn off some of the alcohol, or we're going to have that harsh alcohol flavor in the back of our throat. If it gets to going too high, move it off the fire for a minute. Okay? Look at that. That's a flambé. That's extra. That's $15 extra at a French restaurant. So we're going to get that back on there. Okay, now we're going to go with our cream. We've got about a cup of cream. We're going to pour that right in. Okay, now we want to bring this to a boil. Okay, and I'm going to show you a little bit about, you may have heard, the sauce is ready when it'll coat the back of a spoon. Well, I'm going to show you what that means here. We're going to have to let this sauce, it's going to take about 5 minutes to reduce it where we need to be. So we're going to let that happen, then I'll show you what it means when the sauce coats the back of a spoon. Okay, so let's check and see if our sauce is ready. Let's talk about coating the back of a spoon. What you're going to do is you're going to put your spoon into the sauce, and then you're going to run your finger across it. Do you see how the top of the sauce doesn't flow into where I wiped it away? This sauce is just about ready. Let's do it one more time. Look at that. That's perfect. The sauce is coating the back of a spoon to where it takes a while before it starts to drip across where you wiped it away. It's ready. Okay, the sauce is ready, so we want to turn the fire off. We don't want any more heat, okay, because we got it where we want it. Okay, every sauce, the final bit of any recipe is seasoned to taste. Okay, so we're going to want to taste this sauce. Now we've got to remember it's cooked in a pan that had some salt in it, had some pepper in it. We've got a lot of pepper on our steak. Probably doesn't need pepper, but I bet it needs sauce. So what you're going to do is take a little bit here. Give it a little taste. It's hot. Okay, that's yummy. But I believe it needs a pinch of salt. And you know, in almost any sauce or soup that you can make, it almost always benefits from a little bit of acid at the end. Vinegar, lemon juice. It's just going to add a little brightening of the flavor. I don't want it to taste like lemon, but if I just put a little squeeze of lemon in here, it's going to make all the flavors in the sauce brighten up. So got just a little bit. That's probably a quarter of a teaspoon. So swoosh that around a little bit. Look at that. Man, that's going to taste good on top of that steak. So we've made our sauce. It's basically a brandy and a cream reduction. A little salt, a little lemon juice at the end. Now we're ready to put our plate together. Oh, look at that. Beautiful Poivre steak right in the middle of our plate. We've got our brandy cream sauce right here. Just going to take a little of that, drizzle it right over the steak. Can't go wrong there. If you wanted to, you could slice this steak. You could slice it and fan it out, or you could leave it like this, and you're never complete without the garnish. So we'll put a little garnish on there. This is classic steak au poivre. Try this at home, you're going to love it. I'm Jamie Samford, corporate chef for Winn Meat Company. Enjoy.